What's going on, guys? So close to almost finishing our game. What we're going to do in today's tutorial is fix, the score continuing to count and, some other stuff because that's going to be pretty quick. So let's go into our run method, and within our while loop, again, we use this game over variable of this class, and then we refer to the ball variable, see where the ball is, and see if there's a game over within the ball class that we set up in the last tutorial. Again, we could always just refer to this variable if we wanted. We didn't even really need to have this variable, but we might as well since we set it up. Sometimes I just don't think. Alright, so we're going to go down to our score plus plus here, and all we're going to do is we're going to say if game over, and we're actually going to put an exclamation mark in front of it saying if that's not the case, because again right now if we're checking a Boolean value, game over is if the game was over, this would be set to true, and then we would add 1 to the score and a normal if statement. But again with the exclamation mark, it's saying if it's not true, saying if it's false, then we're going to add 1 to our score. So let's save this, run it, and make sure that works. Yep, looks like we got a score of 51. Alright, the next thing that we need to do is actually allow our player to stand a chance, because right when the game starts there's no platforms there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our start method up here where we set up our random platforms, and we're actually going to change this. So for our first platform, we want it to, our first 7 platforms just to kind of cover the whole screen. So we will say for platform I again, and we're going to create a new platform. For the X position, we probably just want it to start at 0. So we're going to say 0 times the platform width. So we're just going to say times 120. And then for the height, we aren't going to give it a random variable at all. For height, we're just going to give it like a 200. Is that good? No, 300. We'll say right about in the middle of our game, and we're getting an error here. So when we first set up our platforms, as you can see, they're going to be just side by side, touching each other, 300 pixels. So let's save that, run it. And as you can see, our player now gets a starting edge, and he's like, okay, that's a green, that's probably a good thing. And he's like, alright, gravity went down a little bit. So it gives him a little bit of advantage, a little bit of time to get ready to click into the applet and actually start going, because again we need to do that. As you can see, we still have the speed up at about 1,000, and here is our game so far. So again, let's try and commit suicide and make sure our score stops. It does 1795, and it says game over. In the next couple tutorials, we'll actually have a try again here where we'll talk about like mouse events. So if we hover over, it'll change the color of the try again. If you click it, it'll restart the game. And we'll talk about how that works, because a few people have been talking about like how do you create a menu, and it's kind of the same concept of this try again feature that we're going to add to our game. So again, I'll catch you guys later, and subscribing might help prevent global warming.